Walking along this road is not something retired School Superintendent Kahn takes for granted. It's only the second time he's been here in more than 3 years, and it brings back difficult memories. He nearly died here after he was hit by a truck while running with his best friend, Peoria County Sheriff Mike McCoy. They were training for a half marathon.
We were about a mile and a half into our 5-mile run, and I was running in the gutter, and Tom was like a step behind me, running right on the white line of Sterling Avenue. And we were headed north on Sterling. And we're just walking and talking, and all of a sudden I was going through the air and landed. It was just, had no warning, no sounds, no nothing.
I was hit in the back, and I went 70 feet in the air, and I was basically pretty much peeled from my forehead down. I was really, really scraped up, and I did not break a bone. Unbelievable. I did not break a bone. My wife has some pictures in the hospital. I've got marks on the back of my calves of the bolts that hold the license plates on the man's truck.
I knew that I was going to be okay. Well, I was hoping I was going to be okay at that time. And I knew that he wasn't doing anything. And when I saw them roll him over and start, ripping his clothes off, that was a concern.
The two men had internal injuries, plus Tom had a life-threatening head injury. Mike, a broken pelvis. Kahn says he can't remember what happened for 4 to 5 days. However, Mike McCoy says his memory is vivid.
I looked up the road, and it was about 40 or 50 feet up the road, and it looked like somebody had thrown some clothes in a ditch.
And the sheriff, literally knocked out of his shoes, remembered a face of the man who first came to him to ask if he was okay seconds after impact.
It must have just happened, because no one else was there. And I just pulled over and I flagged the lady down. I said, call 911, and then went to the sheriff and asked him, should I administer any CPR or anything like that? And he said, well, don't move him, because he appeared to have a head injury, although he was breathing and everything. So I just stayed with him, comforted him, and got a blanket out of my car, and I covered him up, that kind of stuff, and told him everything was going to be all right.
Once emergency crews arrived, Daniel Heath vanished, having not mentioned who he was at the scene. But it's plagued McCoy and Kahn and others around them who knew Heath's quick thinking and extreme kindness that day is likely the reason they're alive.
He held my hand and said, keep reassuring me to hang in there, don't leave him, stay with him, help was coming. And then he got a blanket out of his car and put it underneath my head and held me until the medics came.
Him doing everything he could to make things better, and then just going about his life is what we found out is just the character that Daniel Heath displays. And there aren't very many people like that in this world, and we're really lucky.
Well, yeah, I wasn't nervous a bit until I got home. After I got home, I was shook up when I realized what actually had happened.
Daniel Heath went on with his life, keeping up enough with news story updates of the accident to find peace in the men's recovery.
He saved our lives. Bottom line, he saved our lives, and we just found out about it.
When you see Daniel Heath, just look at him, you can tell that there's something special about him. And I don't know, I get a little emotional about him. I just, a thank you. We told him thanks. But I don't know, how do you ever really tell him thanks?
But when you call Daniel a hero, he's quick to deflect the title as he reflects on how he spends most of his time. As a custodian at Irving School in Peoria, where his passion is acting as a type of guardian angel to students every day. He always offers them a listening ear, friendship, and even lunch money.
Knowing how less fortunate those children really are. They're the real heroes, to be honest with you. They have to get up with one parent, and they may not have two parents, may not have enough to eat that day, may not have clothes to change into every day. So I think seeing that every day puts life into a much better perspective for me. I'd be grateful for what I have. And I just try to give back a little each day to those children, specifically those children.
Mike and Tom say that humility is why they could never offer an adequate thank you to this man they feel linked to for life. They just feel fortunate for a new sweetness in each day. And they say this man, the school kids call Candyman, is the reason for that.
People didn't have to stop. A lot of people didn't stop. And he did.